What's going on, Bruin fans? The day has come. Ben Howland is no longer the coach at UCLA. This was going to happen. I think this was a foregone conclusion. Really just once the season began. I mean, there was a lot of struggling wins this year. A lot of things that this year was just kind of annoying to watch. Yeah, you might say, "Oh, we had 25 wins. We won the Pac-12." But here's the problem: if you watch the games from game in and game out, it's really just the other team sucks more than us. Um, Apparently, Arizona sucks more than us, even though they're making a run to the Sweet 16. Um, yeah, it feels like we just won with recruiting talent alone and didn't really see much from the coach. Howland, I'm going to remember the good times under Howland. This is a move that has to happen because of all the issues. Howland unfortunately lost control of his players once Darren Collison graduated. 2008-2009 had a little bit of those teams from the Final Four when Collison and Alfred Aboya were there for their last years, but that was kind of like your farewell, and we knew rebuilding would come, but they just couldn't reload. After that, there's some talent, but it never came together. I just remember that team when we saw Malcolm Lee there, and a little bit of Tyler Honeycutt, a little bit of just Reeves Nelson being dumb, a little bit of a lot of things that just didn't go right. This whole team was a mess. I remember Jamison Morgan didn't do anything. All these players were just not as good as what they could have been. Drew Gordon, the list goes on and on and on about what happened after those Final Fours. It's unfortunate, Ben Howland brought this team. Steve Lavin, we all know Luz Lavin dumped Darrell. We all remember that era, and obviously we lost them both finally. But and Luz Lavin, Sweet 16s for a bunch of years, and then suddenly there was that lousy year. He gives us one big win over Arizona before he goes. One nice win there, but we had to move on. We hire Howland. He brings a pulse. In his second year, he brings us to the tournament after one non-tournament year. And then in 06, with a young group of players like Jordan Farmar, like Aaron Aflalo, and even Darren Collison as a freshman, to go with some Lavin holdovers like Ryan Hollins and Cedric Bozeman. That team was so awesome to watch because they all cared about the team. That was a group of players that really were committed to that season to UCLA, and we made the title game in 06. I'm not going to forget that win over Gonzaga, that game in 2006. That's going to be one of my favorite moments as a UCLA person. If it weren't for the football games here and there, but in basketball, from that sense, I'm going to remember the good times. Those Final Four runs were something of beauty, and unfortunately, he just lost his touch. The players, we've seen like 5 or 6, 7 transfers in the last 5 years. I don't even know the exact number, but from Ryan Wrights to Chase Stanback to Jamison Morgan to Drew Gordon to Matt Carlino to Tyler Lamb to Joshua Smith, all these guys being dismissed or kicked off the team or transferring. Mike Moser, the list goes on. We have to move on from this, and Howland unfortunately lost touch with his players and with the whole team in general. Even this season, there were a lot of those games, as I said before, the other team just kind of sucked, and UCLA wasn't really impressive. There were some satisfied wins over Arizona this year, that's for sure, but otherwise this season, there wasn't really a lot of things to be happy about. I remember that Cal Poly loss, and then they barely beat UC Irvine. That loss to USC at home was really a mess. They needed to make the Sweet 16 and to even have his job secured, but lost to Jordan Adams. That doesn't help. I do think these one-and-dones in the NBA have kind of ruined college basketball a bit. It's really hard for a coach to establish his own core players, but now that we got these one-and-dones and Shabazz Muhammad and probably Kyle Anderson going one-and-done, I don't know what this program does. In terms of getting a coach, you say, oh, Shaka Smart, Brad Stevens, let's get those guys. And I think it'd be cool if we had those guys, but I don't know what'll be a good hiring or a bad hiring. I really don't know, because Dan Guerrero is our athletic director, and every UCLA fan out there, unless you're not a UCLA fan, everyone hates Dan Guerrero, including myself. Sure, he hired Jim Mora Jr., and I think his job is saved because of that. I'm just not optimistic about UCLA basketball. Things have been kind of the mess that has happened since Darren Collison graduated. and slash Alfred Aboya graduating. I haven't seen the same teams since those Final Four runs. Just wish one and dones didn't exist as much. Wish there were these players that can be committed to a team and not be worried about the NBA, or not be so selfish and committing stupid acts like Reeves Nelson. Which it's funnier that his brother was kicked off the football team, but that's another story. But yeah, thanks for the memories, Ben Howland. I'm going to remember the good times. Yeah, they never won a national title, and they weren't meant for that, but the team just has to move on, and I hope we can get a coach that's worthy enough. But Dan Guerrero's our athletic director. What are we going to do? I don't know. And I don't know who's leaving. I don't know who's leaving this program besides Shabazz Muhammad and obviously Howland. So let me know what you guys think. Who could become our next coach? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to remember the good under Howland because of all the stuff before under Lavin that wasn't as good. There's a lot of good things Howland did for this team. Just lost control of the team. That's all I can say. See you guys later. Go Bruins.